Hey guys, Steve Bizzle here with another battle report. This is a recast. I've recorded this one once before, but I had a really sore throat when I did it, and the recording it wasn't up to standards that I'd like to put out. So, re-recording this one. This is a game against a Warriors of Chaos player who's an old player, recently getting back into the hobby. So it's a different opponent than my usual ogre guys I play against. So we're back to the usual list. So again, picked up the Lore of Death with the Demon Prince. I've got Spirit Leech, Caress of Lanith, Soul Blight, and the Fate of Boona. I think I swapped out the Purple Sun because against Warriors it's just not very useful. And we just played. This game we rolled up playing Dawn. Is it Dawn Attack? Or yeah, where you get the random deployment slots. So that kind of messed up with the deployment a little bit, but not too much. So moving on to my deployment, over on the right hand side here, we've got a Unit 5 Warhounds, the 20-man Tzeentch block with full command, shields, Mark of Tzeentch, the level 1 wizard in there who took metal, roll up Foul and Transmutation again. He seems to roll that spell every game. But I think I did swap it for Searing Doom in this one, I'm not too sure. And then there's another Unit of 5 Hounds. Into the centre, so there's a bit of a clusterfuck of units here in the centre. So we've got the BSB under Mike Mount with the Gold Beast behind. There's the 4 Skull Crushers with the Standard Musician and Social Weapons. Another Gold Beast Chariot, and then the ridiculous 500-point Demon Prince. I'm not going to list all these upgrades. You should probably know his build by now. Same with the BSB. Moving on to my left, there's 2 units of 5 Warhounds. So I got most of my stuff condensed into the centre and the right, which I was quite happy with. It could have gone a lot worse for me deployment-wise. Moving on to my opponent's deployment, so on his right hand side, my left, there's a unit of 5 Warhounds. Just behind the trees there is a level 2 to Shadow, I believe. And in the centre, so there's a big block of Tzeentch warriors, which same as mine, with full command and shields. There's an Exalted in there with some stuff. I can't remember exactly what items he had. There's a unit of 5 Chaos Knights. They're actually marked to Khorne, and they have the Banner of Rage. There's a unit of 20 Marauders with Helm, Weapon, Shield, and Mark of Tzeentch. So it'll be interesting to see how they do, because that's not a combination you usually see. It's normally, Khorne and Flails. And then there is also 2 units of 5 Warhounds in the centre. Moving across onto his left-hand side, there's the War Shrine. Another unit of 5 Warhounds, but there's one missing in that photo. Another unit of the 5 Marauder Horsemen, and the level 4 on Steed. At this point I actually thought the level 4 on horses is level 2, and the guy on foot was his level 4, but that's just my mistake. So he got screwed over a little bit with his deployment with Dawn Attack here, because he wants the War Shrine Central, where his warriors are, and his knights, and all his champions. So he kind of got screwed a little bit there. Obviously the level 1 on the horse didn't attach itself to any unit, so he got shunted over here onto the side, and so the Dawn Attack deployment messed with my opponent a lot more than it did with me. So from that perspective, he's sort of down a little bit already. This is a very sort of old book army, very Tzeentch themed, as you can tell. He's got all the new stuff. It's just in the process of being built and painted. So this is like the final swan song of the old book army. So we'll move on. My opponent went first, and he pushed forward his unit dogs like so. In the centre, just everything kind of moved forward. So you 2 units of 5 dogs push up. The Marauders there push up. He actually forgot to bring a movement tray for that unit, so that gets kind of frustrating this game, but it's manageable. The Knights move up tentatively. They don't want to get too close to the Gold Beast Chariots, because the Kingblade Cryptics will probably pick up a couple of them, and then the Gold Beast is a nightmare anyway. And then the warrior block in the back kind of just shuffles around a little bit, and the level 2 behind the woods is just taking a leak behind a tree or something. I don't really know what he's doing there. And over on this side, so the War Shrine makes a beeline for the centre. He wants to get closer to all his champions, and where the main units of basically where the unit champions are, so we can actually get the full effect of the War Shrine. That unit of dogs pushes forward. The little lone puppy still hasn't found its way back into the unit. I'm not sure what was going on there. It didn't really make much of a difference. And over on the far hand side, the Marauder Horsemen move around the building, and level 4 moves up. So moving into the magic phase, I think he goes ahead and throws some dice at the War Shrine. I let it go. Nothing of note really happens. So it's +1 toughness, +1 initiative here and there. And then he goes ahead and throws Final Transmutation to this unit, and that little piece of paper there just signifies that I use my Dispel Scroll. So turn 1 he's got my scroll, which, you know, it's not bad, but, you know, I didn't want a Final Transmutation going off on the unit first turn in the game. So into my turn 1, so I go ahead and I throw some 2 units of dogs way over to the right hand side just to get in the way of stuff. Protect the flank of the warriors, not that there's really much over there to threaten the flank. Demon Prince flies around, the warriors push forward. I'm going to try and snipe out the guy on the horse with the Demon Prince, but I fell just out 12 inches range. 12 inches is like the golden distance for death magic, because all the castings are really low. When you need to go further than 12 inches, the spells get kind of expensive. So I'm going to need to roll quite well for magic phase. Now moving into the centre, so again, just push a unit of hounds forward to block a charge from the knights. He now can't charge past my dogs into the Gold Beast, and if he comes into the Crushers, I think that's a fight that Crushers can win. BSB moves up just behind the trees. I think he's just going to threaten. You know, charges next turn. Gold Beast is going to do the same. Again, it's just feeling each other out in these, you know, opening stages. And over on the left, I just kind of do that with the dogs. I don't really know what I'm doing with those dogs. They've not got any duties to fulfill at this point, so I'm just kind of, you know, they're probably off chasing birds or something. I don't know. I'm moving into the magic phase, so I go ahead and I don't think I roll like that good of a magic phase. I think I get like 6 dice to 4 or something. And I go ahead and I throw a Spirit Leech into his level 4. He decides to let it go. I think playing the odds that he should be safe. But I go ahead and I roll a 6 and he rolls a 1 and he dies. So turn 1 I pick up his level 4 with Death Magic, which is really good. Don't get any dice back, but obviously cannot complain with that at all. And then the rest of my magic phase gets dispelled. So moving into my opponent's turn. So he goes ahead and he charges 1 unit of dogs into my dogs, and I just hold because, you know, chances are I'm going to break. And when we're within range of the BSB, so it may end up, you know, being able to hold. I can do a couple of wounds back. He may win by 1. Might get lucky, and then I'm just, you know, blocking up the centre even more. But probably going to break, but I don't really care. And then the move I didn't really understand was he charged his dogs into the hounds. He's kind of just throwing his hounds away there. What would have been a better plan was just to drop them in front of the Crushers at an angle, just to redirect them, because that's all dogs are good for. You know, that just throwing him to the Skull Crushers is just, you know, it's a waste really. He's running the risk of 1 being left alive, and then my Crushers chasing him down and getting closer and being able to charge in my turn. So kind of a mistake there. And over on this side, he goes ahead and does some charges. I do some fleas. The Demon Prince had to take a panic test, but he didn't care. And kind of ends like that. So into the remaining moves, the Marauder Horsemen just turn around. I think they're going to throw some javelins at the dogs. And in the centre here, so the Marauders bump up a little bit again. The Knights move up a little bit. Everyone's just kind of inching up. You know, no one really wants to commit fully at this point, which is fine. And then the level 2 moves around again. That's a really cool old style model. He actually has a puppet on his hand for, you know, back in the days of the Infernal Puppet. It's a shame to see that item gone, but then that model's really cool. And again, the War Shrine just cuts itself inwards to get within range of some guys. And then magic phase, he goes ahead and does throw the majority of his dice at the War Shrine. I think I'd dispel everything else and I let the War Shrine go through. I think his Exalted gets +1 toughness. The Knight Champion gets +1 weapon skill. The Unit Champion and the Warrior block gets something. Nothing again significant. The War Shrine's only really makes its points if you churn out a Demon Prince. So unless he does do that, I'm kind of not worried about the War Shrine. Although I'm beginning to run my luck with it now, because of two turns I've let it go. I should probably start dispelling it at some point. So into the combat phase, as predicted, the Warhounds into the Crushers just get completely wiped out, meaning that the Skull Crushers can't overrun, which is lucky for my opponent, but it was just a waste of dogs. What would have been better was to put them in front of the Skull Crushers at an obnoxious angle, and then make me charge through them if I want to, and overrun into my own units. But it's all a learning process, and the Hounds on the left beat my Hounds and overran. And actually managed to contact the Gobies chariot. This is just before we closed the door with the chariot. Again, those dogs should quite easily be mocked up by the Gobies, which is fine. So into Warriors of Chaos turn 2. Well, my turn 2. The Warriors go ahead and charge the dogs, and then my dogs in the bottom right actually rally, which is nice. My dogs have a tendency to rally. I think obviously the Demon Prince was there before he flies off, so you're actually relying on a 9, which isn't anything unreliable. And then the Hounds in the top there just move up to block the Marauders. You can't really block fast carve, so I'm just kind of giving them a threat to deal with. It looks like obviously in the last turn they threw the javelins and did nothing. And in the centre here, so I'll go ahead and declare a double charge with the Gobies chariot and the BSB into the Marauders. Gobies chariot fails and the BSB goes in solo. Now this is actually a fairly bad situation because those Tzeentch Marauders are actually fairly hard to kill with the 5-up parry save. I don't have that many attacks. He's got his ranks, and because my guy's the BSB, if he fails a break test, he dies. So that's not really what I wanted to happen, but still shouldn't lose that many combats. I don't think if I can do enough wounds. I'll only testing on -1 or -2, which is fine. And then the rest of my movements kind of move the Skull Crushers up to fit for the gap, and that's where the Gobies chariot ended its failed charge. The Gobies on the left there is still, running over some dogs. And the Demon Prince flies up to there, just getting out of charge arcs. He's going to start harassing people with death magic. So I go ahead, and the funny thing about this turn is my opponent was going to drink from the Chalice of Chaos this turn, the 10-point item which possibly continue to Demon Prince. But I was saying, we're talking about, I was like, don't drink it now, because most of the benefits only work in combat. So you might want to wait until the guy is actually in combat, sit him in that warrior block, protect him, and then drink it at the start of a combat phase. So he said, yeah, that makes sense, I'll do that. In my magic phase, I go ahead and Caress of Lanif the guy and kill him. And I completely forgot about advising him not to drink from the chalice. So I felt kind of bad at that point, saying, no, don't potentially turn your guy into a Demon Prince. And then I kill him. It was completely unintentional. I wasn't trying to dick on my opponent at this point. But the Caress of Lanif picks up his level 2, so now he's got no magic. Death magic being just amazingly destructive in this game. I don't tend to have this much luck with death magic in previous games, but it's really paying for itself. And again, don't get any dice back, but it's fine. And I also managed to get Soul Blight off in the Knights, because I feel a charge coming from them next turn, so I just go ahead and drop their strength and toughness by 1. So now they're a heck of a lot less scary. Toughness 3, even with a 1-up, they're going to take a lot of wounds. Most of my stuff's strength 5. I can put a lot of wounds on them. Now they're only strength 4, so my high toughness and armor saves in my army can handle strength 4, no problem. And it's the combat phase, so I go ahead and he has to issue a challenge with his Mother Champion, and I kill him, and my guy picks up +1 initiative from the Eye of the Gods. Actually, that's actually quite good. +1 attack would have been better, or +1 strength, but with your characters with Warriors of Chaos, you really don't want them to turn into Demon Prince because you give away the points. So if you've got a really expensive Lord, sure, it'd be awesome for him to become a Demon Prince and pick up that stat line, but just bear in mind, you give away the points. So if he's like 400 points, you may get a free Demon Prince out of it, but you give up those 400 points. So getting the +1 attack, the +1 strength, the +1 ward save, those are the better ones for characters. Unit champions, sure, go ahead and roll at 666, but for your characters, you don't want them to turn into Demon Princes for the most part, unless it's a really cheap character, like a level 1 sorcerer or something. So we go ahead and I kill the champion in a challenge. I think I only actually do 1 wound because getting through the parry save was really frustrating. So I I have charge and a banner and a wound. He has a banner and 2 ranks. He wins by 1 because the musician, and then I'm on a 7 reroll and I pass because I am the BSB. And into this combat here with the hounds and the Goldbeast. Obviously, the Goldbeast chariot just obliterates the dogs. It just wasn't anything weird going on there. And on this side, the warriors kill the dogs and do overrun. I don't know if I've moved the overrun at this point, but they do make an overrun. And into my opponent's turn 3, so he goes ahead and he throws the knights into the front of the Goldbeast chariot. I think it's been nudged to the side a little bit, so its angle is slightly off. And then he actually quite smart, throws the hounds into the flank. My guys on top only have 6 attacks, so I kind of have to hit and wound with all of them to take away that flank, which is unlikely. You know, it's 3s and then 2s, so the odds says 4 will die, but there'll be 1 hound providing in that flank. And this is how you beat Goldbeast. Just beat them through combat res, because even if you don't run them down or whatever, they take away frenzy and they suddenly become a lot less scary. So putting the hounds into the flank there is a really smart play to beat this Goldbeast chariot. And even though the knights are -1 strength and toughness, it's still a unit of corn knights. You're still going to get 10 attacks plus horse kicks. So yeah, it's a fairly smart play to go to the Goldbeast. And the Skull Crushers can't actually see the flank of the knights. We got the little measure out and they can't actually get a flank charge. And over here, so he goes ahead and he throws the War Shrine into the flank of the BSB. Again, the same process of just trying to beat me through combat res, because if he can get me testing on -3, he's going to have got charge and a flank. He's still got a banner and 2 ranks. So he's up by 5, or 4 because I've got a banner. It's quite possible that my BSB could be testing at -3, and then he's on a 5 with a reroll, and he could just die. So again, fairly, smart tactics here from my opponent. I'm just crossing my fingers that the dice go my way. And on this side, the Marauders charge into the hounds. And in Magic Phase, he goes ahead and again he throws all his dice at the War Shrine because he's got no casters. Again, nothing of note happens. I think the Exalted at this point picks up +1 attack, and the Champion of the Knights gets +1 toughness. Then the Knight Champions actually turn into a bit of a beast. He got like +1 initiative, +1 weapon skill, and +1 toughness now. She's actually a fairly annoying prospect to fight against. But again, the War Shrine still isn't churning out the Demon Prince that you really want it to do. So I think at this turn I let it go through, because obviously all he could do was throw dice at the War Shrine. I could fairly easily dispel it with just throwing all my dice +4. But I thought, I've shit on his Magic Phase enough so far this game. I'll let him get the War Shrine through one more time. And then for the rest of the game, I think I just dispel it every turn. And it's combat phase. So the Goldbeast kills no knights to the front. A 1-up save keeps him alive. The Riders kill 3 dogs to the flank. But he has a charge, a banner, and a flank, and then he wins by 1 because of the musician, and I stick around as I'm just in range of the BSB, so 7 the reroll, but I lose frenzy. So unless I can keep soul blighting the knight unit, the Goldbeast is in a fair amount of trouble. And in this combat here, so I go ahead and I kill, looks like 3 Marauders. That's enough to make me test only on -1, and I stick around. But I'm pushing my luck with this BSB. One failed leadership sort of 6 or 7 test, and he's dead. So really need to get some help into here to help clear up these units and stop the BSB from dying. So into my turn 3. So the Skull Crushers go ahead and charge into the flank of the War Shrine. They're going to mop up that. Even with its 3 at ward save, I should kill that War Shrine, or at least make it break. And then all I need to do is win combat. So I've got a charge and a flank to counteract his flank. I have 2 banners to his 1 banner. So I'm up on combat res now, and the wounds are only going to go my way. So I should break that the War Shrine, and then the Marauders will be tested on the leadership. He doesn't have a BSB, so they'll be on a 7 without a reroll. So I could be able to clean up this entire combat here. The Warriors on the right there. I think this is this turn the Warriors declared a charge into the flank of the Marauders as well, and they failed, so they've ended up there. This charge has continued. So in the previous turn, the Marauders went into the Hounds, killed all but one. They fled. The Marauders overran and failed. In my turn, the Dogs there have charged into the flank of the Marauder Horsemen, and my one dog rallied on Snake Eyes. I love my dogs. The dogs just rally all the time for me. I got really lucky with their leadership for whatever reason. And then the dogs into flank of the Marauders, that's 3 dogs against 1 Marauder. I have a charge and a flank. I should be able to run that unit down. In the centre here, the Golby's Chariot's just turned around to get a flank charge into those knights. I'm hoping my Golby's Chariot can stick around, but unless I can get Soul Blight off, I'm going to take a lot of wounds and potentially break from combat. So I'm not holding breath too much here, but I'm poised for that flank charge. Should everything stick in place. I've got to survive 2 more rounds of combat, which isn't easy. And again, so here's the unit of Hounds. As you can see, I'm swapping out the painted ones with the unpainted ones as I get through. I have actually finished painting all my Hounds now. They just need basing. So making progress with my army. It's got to be ready for the second week of June. June 15th is when the tournament is. So I've got just a little over a month at the time of recording. I'm confident I'm going to get everything done that needs to be done. So these Hounds have done nothing all game. I'm just running around the trees with him. Again, they're probably chasing squirrels or birds or I don't know. Dogs. It's only 30 points. I don't feel bad. I'm moving on to more remaining moves. The Demon Prince has just again flown here to protect himself from any charges. Not that there's nothing that can kill him. Warriors are just good because they don't take the massive penalties that other units do because they're weapon skill 5, so they don't hit me on 6s. They've got a decent amount of attacks, they don't die easily, and I just don't want to get my Demon Prince stuck in a grind yet. I want to try and pick off a couple more characters with Death Magic, and then then I'll go in it and mop up if needs be. It's the Demon Prince's position to get a charge into the Warriors or the rear of the Marauders if they stick around next turn. So this combat here between the Golbeast and the Knights, I don't kill any Knights, kill the Dogs to the flank, and the Golbeast takes 2 wounds, and I think I'm testing on -3. He's got 2 wounds and a banner, I've got 2 wounds, so I'm testing at -1 and I stick around again, which is really lucky for me, but I've took 2 wounds, they're back to strength 5 now. I believe in my magic phase I didn't do anything, I can't remember, I may have death magic somebody. At this point, I can't really remember. But the Knights put 2 wounds on, and now I'm lost frenzy. So next turn, the pressure's on. Although I did clear out the flank, which was good for me. And on this side, the Hounds go ahead and beat the Marauders and run them down. And in the combat in the centre, so I go ahead and put 3 wounds into the War Shrine. It breaks from combat and flees. But the Marauders being steadfast on a 7, they stick around, well, on an 8 because they're within range of the general. But they stick around, which is frustrating. I wasn't sure how the Skull Crushers would go, because obviously I have to overrun, but I just overran and hit my BSB. So I just think that, my reading of the rules is that they obviously I can't go within an inch of any of my units. So I just stop there. If that's not right, then drop a comment, but I think that's what happens. So I'm kind of clogging myself up behind this combat, because now I can't really, I have to, swift reform, move, and then that just gets a whole lot of mess. So the Skull Crushers was kind of stuck there, but they did clear out that War Shrine. And it's my opponent's turn 4. So the War Shrine goes ahead and rallies, and he moves up the Warriors on the left, probably looking to get a I think he wanted to declare a charge into the Skull Crushers, but because of the positioning of all the units, he was in the front and he couldn't make it to the front. So they just kind of moved up to threaten next turn. I think putting most of the unit into the flank now, if I remember correctly, looking at the picture, it's never clear, but I'm pretty sure that's what he was planning. So he can get a flank charge into the Crushers next turn because I can't really move anywhere. And so there's no magic for my opponent because the War Shrine rallied. Again, I wasn't sure if you can cast a bound spell after rallying. We assumed not because it says somewhere in the rule book that you can't cast magic. Again, if that's wrong, let me know because I wasn't sure. I can't remember if we just diced it off or just skipped it over that phase. But please drop a comment if that's not the case. If you can, throw a bound spell after rallying. So we skipped the magic phase, we skipped the shooting phase, and went straight into the combat phase. The Knights go ahead and put another wound on to the Gore Beast. And I don't do anything back. As you can see, there's still 5 Knights there. So I'm testing at -2, and I stick around. So in my turn now, I can go ahead and throw the other Gore Beast into the flank, and that should mop up this Chaos Knight unit. Even with the 1-up armor save, I should be able to do so much wound, so much damage that I just break them and run them down. And into the combat in the centre, so the BSB is continuing to chip away at the Marauders. I think again I lose combat because I've lost the combat res from the Skull Crushers. But I stick around because I'm only losing by 1, if I'm losing at all. So the Marauders with, Mark of Siege and Howling and Shields are actually proving like a fairly good target unit. The only problem is, I think with that configuration, with Hand Weapon and Shield, the Mark of Tzeentch, they become 8 points a guy. I'm trying to justify in my head whether that's worth it, because it's, bearing in mind this is only my BSB. If the Skull Crushers had gone in there, I'd have been, doing so many more wounds. However, if it was a unit of 50, that's only 400 points for a unit with a 5-up armor save, a 5-up parry save, and a 6-up ward save. So I'm kind of maybe seeing the value in Marauders from this game, which is good because, like most people, I just wrote them all off, and luckily mine aren't painted, so I can just rip the arms off and stick Hand Weapon and Shield on. It could be a combination you may see in future games. So going into my turn 4, so the Warriors come into the flank, the Demon Prince goes into the rear. Just hoping that I can mop up these Marauders now. I'm really starting to get frustrated with my BSB being stuck in place, so I've just thrown everything in the kitchen sink at this unit. And the Gore Beast down here goes ahead and into the flank of the Knights. So again, I'm hoping to mop up the Marauders, and then I can just send everything to deal with the Knights. And this is indeed turn 4. I wasn't sure. See that big black dice there being used as a turn counter. Over on this side, I'm just running around with the dogs, playing points denial. Not that there's many points to deny. And on this side, the Hounds move up just out of line of sight of the War Shrine. Not that the War Shrine's going to charge the Hounds. I wouldn't have thought. It's not a move I would recommend. It's better going into the flank of the Warriors, which I didn't see when I charged the Warriors in. Mistake by me there. But hopefully I'll win this combat and be able to reform anyway. And so the Hounds just moved up behind that Warrior block. Just a march block one, I guess. Sorry for the blurry photo, guys. So in the magic phase, I go ahead and I throw a Spirit Leech, I think, or a Caress of Lanif, some death magic spell onto the unit champion of the Knights and kill him. And then the Gore Beast into the flank, just, I think I get a couple of killing blows off. I do take another wound onto the Gore Beast in the front. It took 2, I had to take 2 saves at 4-up, made 1. No, 2 saves at 5-up, sorry, made 1. So he's still alive with 1 wound left, and that Gore Beast just mopped up and overran the Knights, so that's good for me, preserve all those points. And it's the combat phase, so the BSB goes ahead and rolls to attack, and this is what he rolls, like a boss. But the combination of the Demon Prince in the flank and the Warriors, the Demon Prince in the rear, the Warriors in the flank, leaves the Marauders with, I think, just one guy left. So I go ahead and I overrun with the Demon Prince. He fails to catch the Marauders, but he hits the flank of the Warrior unit. So I overrun with the BSB, who does run them down. And I think for some reason I overrun with the Warriors. I certainly didn't reform them, which I should have done. So it's kind of a mistake on my part there. I'm going to take that War Shrine to the flank. Although I think I was probably thinking I'll just flee, bounce through the Skull Crushers. The Skull Crushers don't care, and then I'll save all those points and I'll have a failed charge. So I think that's probably what I was thinking at that point when I didn't reform them. I was probably trying to bait him in with that flank charge. Yeah, that's obviously my thinking at that point. This game was played like over a week ago, so I'm kind of just doing this from memory. So that is indeed what does happen. So he goes ahead and my opponent's turn 5. He charges the flank of the Warriors. I just like to flee. I'll be rallying on a 10 with a reroll. No, or maybe with a reroll. Again, these pictures never say how far the distance of the BSB is, but I'm rallying on a 10. So I wasn't. The Skull Crushers don't care because they're Mark of Khorne. But the thing that surprised me was he redirected into the Demon Prince. So I can't really. I'm not going to get that counter charge of the Skull Crushers that I really wanted. But the Demon Prince doesn't really care because he's unbreakable. So yeah. The War Shrine can go in there all he wants. I'm going to just wail on that unit a little bit. Hopefully win combat and just make the War Shrine break again. So we're going into this turn. So he goes ahead and he declares a challenge with the Exalted Hero. They probably should have sent the unit champion, or he might have been death magicked at this point. I'm not too sure. But the Demon Prince smashes aside the Exalted Hero, and then I lose combat by 2 or 3, but I'm unbreakable, so I don't care. And into my turn. So the Warriors needing a 10 to rally, or an 11, and then they only run away so another 5 or 6 inches. So they're not going very far, but leadership 10, and they blow it. I think I was out of reroll distance just, and then the dogs on the right side again. They're just licking the balls. I don't know. And in the centre here, so the Skull Crushers have gone into the front of the Warriors. That's just gonna cause so much damage. Still a full strength unit of Skull Crushers. Even with the Mark of Tzeentch, they're gonna take some casualties. I hope anyway. And the BSB moves around to the flank. The Gold Beasts are just positioning, just in case anything weird happens. I can counter charge. Dogs didn't even move. And just to gild the lily, to coin a term, coin a phrase used by other people on YouTube. I like that term. So just to gild the lily, I go ahead and throw Soul Blight onto the Warriors. So this combat's only going to go one way. Yeah, kind of added insult to injury with Soul Blight there, but I probably wanted to go to the bar and get another beer at this point, so I was trying to wrap up quickly. And in the combat phase, this is how it ends. So as you can see, there's only 5 guys left from that whole unit of 24. So they just got fucking rolled. I mean, the Demon Prince in the flank with his 5 attacks and his Thunder Stomp. I think I rolled a 6 for his Thunder Stomp. The Skull Crushers just rolled like fucking demons with all their attacks, and they obliterated the front rank going in. They broke from combat. Again, the banner should be dead. I always forget to take the standard bearer out when they break from combat. That's something I need to get my head around remembering. Go ahead and chase them down. The Demon Prince can't catch them. The War Shrine breaks and runs off. I don't know if it ran off the table or not, but we do call the game here. So he's probably just packed it away. So yeah, this is just an absolute steamrolling of the Warriors of Chaos. This is a game to highlight how the successful elements of the old book just don't converse well into the new book. Markov's Tzeentch on everything just isn't great. On the bunker unit, it's fantastic. That 24-man Tzeentch block would not have died so quickly had I not had Soulblight on, Skull Crushers in the front, and the Demon Prince in the flank. If that had been any other marked unit, they would have just been dead. They would have just gone. If it was marked to Nurgle, Mark of Khorne, they would just have died to a man. So the fact that even some were still left alive was testament to how survivable the Tzeentch block is. However, it does prove just how powerful the new units are. Skull Crushers, just, they fist people. They go elbow deep up your fucking arse crack. They are just ridiculously strong. 12 strength 5 attacks and 12 strength 6 attacks, plus stomps. I always joke that they should have had impact hits, but, because you think about it logistically, it's a massive, brass wolf charging into someone. If it hits you, it's going to do an impact hit. But I'm actually glad that they don't do impact hits, because if they did, I don't think I could stomach myself to put them on the field, because they would just be broken as shit. And the Demon Prince, again, proving his worth, picked up his level 4, picked up his level 2, threw his weight into the combats and lent them in my favour. So my opponent was going to go away, and he's going to build his Skull Crushers, and he's going to paint them for our next game, and he's going to get the Demon Prince, which is a shame. But when a book's written in the way that Warriors of Chaos book has been written, where there's only 1 or 2 successful builds, it's a shame, because I don't want that as a book. I want variety. I'm going to put a video up soon of my next on the project, which will highlight the exact reason as to why I chose the new army that I've chosen. So that's a video for the future, guys. Thanks for watching. Again, this is a belated battle report, but I had to recast it. Had a sore throat. I've been busy. I've had a family wedding to go to. Life has got in the way of Warhammer the last week or so. So new defeats old quite convincingly the Warriors of Chaos. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel. This battle report rattled on way longer than I actually wanted it to, so if you've stuck with it this long, thank you. More battle reports to come. If you like the content, then subscribe to the channel. The usual things apply. Comments below for any mistakes, and thank you for watching.